Is it working?
Oh yeah, we're live, baby. We're live.
There
We're
we
on
go.
air.
Hello,
Look at
hello.
top left. Hello, everyone.
All
Is this
right,
your
well,
first
welcome
stream,
in.
Maria?
Yeah, this technically second stream actually, but the last one was from a very, very long time ago. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is a bit of a different format. We have quite the interesting docket today. I was just talking off air with the gentleman here. I believe we all have sort of a shared passion, I guess you would say, for the business that is Zeta. So we'll be talking a little bit about that. Pagaya reported earnings today. I know Nate in particular and Nick, Ronnie, I believe you as well. You've
Pardon.
Yep, bought more leaps today.
yeah. Okay, there we go. Dabbled in Pagaya, so very interesting business, FICO-esque business model. I'm told, allegedly. So we'll see about that as we go on here. The SaaS sell-off, obviously, a great topic to cover as well. There's earnings preview, et cetera, et cetera. But before we do all that, if we wanted to kind of go around, maybe do a brief intro. Nick, if you wanted to start us off.
I'm Nick. I'm Mr. Zeta, apparently. So, yeah, that's who I am. Just keep it short and sweet, guys.
Right, Sam. I think you're chronologically. I think you're next.
Yes, sir. My name is Sam. Sam I am. Not a it's not a shareholder of Pagaya. Just kidding around. I mean, it's fintech, so fintech's gonna fintech.
We get it. You're right. You're driving
But
your Range Rover. We get it. We get it.
it's Tesla, so I think that is an insult, sir. But no, I mean, yeah, we're all in Zeta. We're all Zeta bag holders. Hopefully not
Yep.
Nebius bag holders. And I don't know. I'm just messing around. Yeah, I think a lot of people know who I am. But yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I do a show on Twitter. I'm the oldest fart in this room.
That's a fact. Yeah.
You're right, but
Jeez.
Second
System
oldest
generated
fart
title.
in the room. Not sure
Oh.
if you know Ronnie, but you have the system generated title.
I think that's on my end. Apologies.
Oh, it's all good.
Okay, Ronnie, if you wanna.
Yeah, Ronnie from Ronnie V Show. Got YouTube, X, mainly on X. Trader, investor, educator, Zeta bag holder as well. PGY bag holder, Oscar bag holder. Nebius not bag holder. So on and so forth. But yeah, let's get to talk some Zeta, some Pagaya today, and yeah, looking forward to being on this amazing panel. Second oldest part on the panel.
Unbelievable.
All right, Davis. I don't know what to say about myself. I don't even want to admit that I'm a HIMS bag holder, but I am.
Former Palantir investor. I mean, you could start there. You know?
No, not former. I'm current.
Oh, current. Okay, my apologies.
I haven't sold a single share.
Multi
It's
bagger.
still undervalued. It's still undervalued. What do you mean?
It is.
Hold on.
We could talk about that a little bit as well. What the thought process there is. I mean, I'm
we
curious.
can, sure.
Yeah. But,
no, because I just did something with my Palantir share, so that'll be a little.
Oh, you trimmed it a bit.
No, I. Long story short, I bought my underwater calls back, and so.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm no longer an underground bear, so I'm excited. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to talk Zeta, learn. I still have a lot to learn about stocks and how the markets work, but I'm happy to be here.
And last but not least, I'm the second youngest. I mean, Ari is the baby here, but I'm close enough. I guess real OG Palantir investor, OG SoFi investor, Nebius investor, Pagaya bag holder, Zeta bag holder, and it used to be a HIMS bag holder, but I'm out of that crap. Yeah, nice to meet you all. Appreciate you guys coming on.
So it's funny. I'm the youngest here, but I mean, most facial hair by far. I think Nate, you're somewhat competing on that front.
Yeah,
you're competing. You're competing.
I can't grow it, dude.
Anyways, gentlemen, we're 5 minutes into this, so we could, you know what, Davis, we could start off with your little Palantir fiasco. I'm curious to know. Obviously, they're putting up phenomenal results, but why have you not trimmed up until this point? Because obviously, we all see the tweets floating around. It's under 20 times, under 30 times EV to sales, this and that. Granted, they're accelerating the top line, but yeah, what's with the diamond hands, I guess.
So one, I couldn't sell for the longest time. So I had 110s for December of this year, and I've been holding those for about a year. And then we just had this SAS dip, and I'm like, I've been begging for an opportunity to buy these back. And I'm just like, I had the opportunity in April when we had the Liberation Day. I didn't take advantage of that. We had something in November. Can't remember what the scare was. And then we had this opportunity. I'm like, okay, the market has given me 3 times to buy these back. I need to do it. So I just do it. And as much as I want to sell, I just there's no point in me doing it. I do want to sell and like save some of those gains, put them into safer stocks like Microsoft, S&P, the Qs, but it's just why would I sell the most important company in the world that Western civilizations depend on? It's not going anywhere. It's not going down. They're putting up phenomenal numbers. And it's my baby. They say don't marry a stock, but this stock is like my baby. It made me who I am. Like I feel like a small portion of my entire personality is Palantir. Like it's my license plate. I've written 2 songs about it now. I just finished the rap. I got to post it eventually. So I don't know. I'm here for the ride. I trust the company. I trust the mission, and we'll see where it goes. If we hit 200 again anytime soon, maybe I'll start trimming.
Yeah, I think you'll see, Arya, that Palantir investors are just Tesla investors, but 10 years later. It's just like this deep, entrenched community of people that trust the CEO and trust the mission that they will just never sell a share in their life until they're forced to, or literally ever, honestly. You kind of see the same thing with Tesla. Like, a lot of them was like their first start, they narrowed the stock, and now they just held for 15 years and still trust that it's going to be a $100 trillion company or whatever they say.
My big question, though, sorry to cut you off, but my big question is what happens with the first major sell-off? Because it's all fun and games when the stock is going straight up, but you're down 50%. You're finally getting your thesis tested. Fundamentals have been gorgeous so far, but like, what if we get the first quarter of deaccelerating revenues, right? Like, what does that look like? Or what if margins flatline, margins end up declining, right? Like something of that sort. I don't understand the business qualitatively enough to kind of talk from that perspective, but I'm saying like, what if something of that sort happens? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Or was that a question to me?
Just in general to the panel.
I mean, I guess I'll take it real quick. Like I said, I have debated selling a big portion of it just to move it into safer stocks. Because when we had this drawdown, I'm sitting here thinking, if I was just in if I was in SPY, I'd only be down 0.4%, while all these gas companies are down 30, 40, 50%. I'm like, I don't want to deal with that emotional roller coaster anymore. And like I said, in April, when we had Liberation Day and I saw the stock going down, I also thought to myself, dang, if I just own the shares and I watched it go from, I don't know, 150 down to 70, that would hurt so much. But luckily, I was in those covered calls. So I couldn't really do anything anyways. But I don't know. I do have a plan I do have a plan for basically retirement with Palantir in the future. So I don't think I'm going to be bag holding for life, like Nate says,
Gotcha.
10, 15 years. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I think we're in the start of a new bull market. So
and to the drop, like Palantir dropped 50% last year during Liberation Week, like those 2 months. It dropped from 140 down to 65. So it's already seen a 50% drop. And you saw that clearly it was eaten up. And I think if there was another 50% drop, it would be eaten up again. Just like Tesla. Like Tesla just has this insane premium, and it's had it for like a decade at this point. And that's just because the retail investors, the community, and Elon. But I think Karp is the another level where it's just he's just gonna have a minimum of like a 30 price of sales as a CEO forever. And so I think it's just a part of the cult and a part of the culture of owning Palantir.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm seeing a comment come through here. Adobe CEO selling shares. This is, I don't know if you guys get, for sure you guys do, but replies on Twitter of like, this stock is, I'm not buying until insiders buy or whatever. I'm actually curious, what do you guys think of tracking insiders buying or not buying, selling shares?
A really quick opinion. I hate it. I think who cares? Who cares? Karp sold every freaking week, and it still went up 20x. Like people think it's a sign of the business is failing. I don't care. People these business owners and founders, obviously they want to make some money, and so they're going to sell their stock. Big what they do.
Same thing with Jensen.
Yeah, Jensen sells all the time. I mean, all of them do. It's like to me, it's
sell
just
for a million reasons, but you only buy for one reason.
It's a non-factor. Yeah, exactly.
I do
when
put
you see
more
a
weight
buy,
into
that's
buying.
bullish. Yes.
If they buy, then I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. If they're selling, now the timing you sell, we can bring up Hims a little bit. You know, the timing you sell, and I was still holding even after he did the whole side eye, shorting stuff. And I made a post about it today because, dude, I just like poked fun because I thought it was silly about the whole like Super Bowl ad pump. Like a lot of people were like, oh man, like this is going to be like, this is it. And it's like the margins are going down. The revenues are stagnating a little bit. Amazon, all this stuff's happening in their face. Roe is beating them on the App Store. And it's just like, I just said enough was enough. Rogaine. So basically Rogaine, the hair company, the hair replenishing company, saw what Hims was doing and then basically said, oh, we can rebrand into like what Hims is doing. They completely did what Hims is doing, but now are beating them on the App Store. Wow. They have a fat pill as well. And
putting it bluntly.
Yeah, put it bluntly. They have a fat pill. Amazon has a fat pill. Hims just pulled their fat pill.
Damn.
People are going to take the fat pill over the shot. So, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff there. But him selling, like, right after, he did the side-eye.
Well, the sale wasn't the bad part because it was pre-planned. It was the putting the side-eye, and then he knows he has a pre-planned sale the next day. That's the bad part.
Yeah, I know it was pre-planned, but, like, that's just, like, the optics of it are so bad, dude, so bad.
Yeah, this is real, which if you look, it's pretty similar to
carbon copy. Is this
copying?
Is this Serena Williams?
But like this is what you don't want to see. You don't want to see Roe copying them. What is Hims' business model, and then they're beating them out on the App Store. That's not okay. It like I can understand like the Amazon thing, and I defended against the Amazon pharmacy and everything because I was basically like, they have so many businesses, like blah blah blah. They're not going to be able to focus like Hims is focused. Until margins started getting hit, until revenue stagnated, until the CEO's doing just some weird stuff, till the NVO whole fiasco. Like, it was just like one thing after another. Now, you can ask Nick. I was even telling him, I was like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, I'm out of this thing. I sold out like $33. I'm not going to sit here and say I sold the top. Like, I sold out like $33 or something at a loss.
Speaking of,
good enough.
It is
It is
all public knowledge. But I think Nate and Sam, I was telling you guys, but I sold 45 minutes before the Andrew Dudum tweet at like $63 a share. I think I've ran out of luck in terms of selling a stock for the rest of my investment career, but that was unbelievable timing. It was only a 2% position though, and everything's documented publicly. So that's that. Anyways, do you guys? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think our luck was selling out of Google for Adobe. Both of us did that move, and I don't think that was very lucky. I mean, Google hasn't done too much, but yeah, Adobe's just been rough, struggle bus.
I still think Adobe outperforms Google over the next 3-ish years. I
do too.
I still maintain that. The one thing I will admit, I wish I didn't sell out the entire thing. I wish I'd kept some of it. I think actually I've been meaning to like talk about this in like a video of like so like people like panic sell, right? Like the stock drops a lot, they panic sell. I think I have the opposite trait of that, which is if something is up a lot and I see like sentiment get way too like euphoric and bullish, I panic sell on the upside, if that makes sense, right? Like and like I was seeing like somebody was saying they expect Google to do 25% revenue CAGR for the next 2 years. Like that's when you worked back their numbers. This is on Twitter. Like that was kind of the moment, the end of it for me. I don't remember the guy's at, but like stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, Gemini is going to do this and do that, and it's going to conquer the world. And Cloud did reaccelerate in all fairness. But I wish that on the upswing, I would have kept like about a third of it, whatever. Anyways, if you guys don't have any thoughts on that, I'd be happy to pivot towards Zeta. I believe, Nick, you are the first one out of everybody on the panel here to kind of get on the Zeta wave. I am curious because I've never gone to ask you, but how did you kind of initially get introduced to the business?
Well, I spotted Zeta through a screener. So I have a screener that tracks stocks and their top line growth and like how far off they are from all-time highs. And I spotted it just after it had that short report because it came up on my screener. Like they had great top line growth and the stock plummeted in price. And so it popped up. I was like, okay, this is interesting. Checked it out a little bit more. Looked at the fundamentals and I said, okay, the fundamentals are super appealing. Let me dive into this a little bit. And coincidentally, they had the short report. So I was very cautious at first about how I approached the business, did some research, kind of put it in the back of my mind, put it on a watch list, sat on it for a couple months. And then finally they had the Deloitte rebuttal where, Zeta had Deloitte come and they did a audit of the company that kind of challenged the short report, made sure that the data wasn't as sort of corrupted as what they alleged to be, that the revenues and whatnot, they weren't doing round tripping. So then my confidence was kind of boosted a little bit more. So I decided to kind of double down, do some more research more thoroughly. And at that point of time, I took a position in the company just early last year. And now we're here.
Sick.
Yeah.
And it has been quite the ride. Sorry?
I flagged it in late 2024, but like I didn't take it seriously until 2025, like spring 2025.
Yeah, interesting. And then I've been somewhat of a bandwagon, if you will. Spotted a bit later. In all fairness, I have been tweeting about it for a decent while. Like it's been on the radar, but just didn't like dig into it type deal. But anyways, Pagaya earnings. I don't know if you guys want to dive into. I did not look at them at all, but I saw the stock was down. It's trading less than 1 times trailing earnings now, which is
that's crazy.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I think it's like a 4P of what, 8? Growing 25%.
4 PE.
7, I think current is 7.
Let me look.
Yeah, growing 25%.
Yeah,
so conversion, I think
9. 4P is 9.
Same.
The price of sales is 0.9. So you're paying, what is that, like 90 cents for every dollar revenue? But then if you look at the historic price to sales, early 2025, late 2024, it was around a 0.6 price to sales. And that's when it was under $10.
And that's also when it was like losing hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Now it's making hundreds of millions. Not hundreds of millions.
Exactly.
Hundreds of million. Much different business than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, like I do get the market is worried. Just obviously, I wouldn't say we're in a bull sentiment right now. So I think anything of lower guidance is going to shoot a stock down 20%, no matter the name. And B, there is some concern with Warsh being appointed, and he doesn't like quantitative easing, and that's not beneficial to Pagaya.
Yeah.
So I do think for a while we're going to see some choppiness until the Fed chair. Honestly, I do think the Fed chair will be like a buy the news event. The second it's finally like confirmed in May of who's appointed, regardless if it's Warsh or not, I think from then on you'll see the market will know for certainty who's going to be appointed, and so I think Pagaya will be fine. But I think we'll see some choppiness.
I agree. And what's
another couple quarters
on Pagaya, right after earnings, Jefferies came out and reiterated a $30 target.
Interesting.
Which is interesting, right? Because that's an opportunity for analysts to come out after a heavy sandbag, and the company overtly coming out and saying, "Hey, we are intentionally chopping our revenues by reducing lower credit tiers," and that's their opportunity to come out and say, no, this is a $18 stock or $16 stock. But no, they reiterated $30, which is telling.
So I'm sure everybody wants to know why they saw like 20% drop today. I have the noted management quote here, and then I also have like the risk on probably why specifically. So the discipline, this discipline drove us to proactively take action later in the fourth quarter and face a persistent consumer uncertainty and trends. While our data does not indicate consumer deterioration, we have the privilege of being able to pivot our production to focus on prudent and disciplined credit performance, says Gal Grubiner. The risk and challenges discussed was proactive credit exposure reduction, proactively pulled back exposure to higher risk and less profitable credit deals with potential for higher relative losses due to persistent consumer uncertainty, despite internal data not indicating consumer deterioration. So they basically did a hedge.
Yeah, it's a big boy decision.
What's that?
I said it's a big boy decision. Like this is a decision the company makes, like of a much larger size, right? Like this is for me, it's a green light from management. It shows me that they're fully capable of making like hard choices and making the right choice in a situation where they could have easily just continued this revenue growth and kept scaling the business, but we would have been in a much more volatile position come, market weakness. If we hit macroeconomic conditions where, people just aren't taking out loans anymore and they don't have that sort of aptitude to do so, Pagaya in that circumstance would just plummet like 50%, 60%, 70%. It would pull a Duolingo. You know what I mean? Out of this world, man. It would be dropping rapidly. But the fact that management's making the decision now, I'm all for it. And Nate and I were live this morning with Trevor, and we were quite happy what we heard. There was a quote. I have it here. Let me read this. One second. Bear with me while I find this. It was from the CEO this morning. He said, quote, "We are building a B2B2C platform that will be the cornerstone of the U.S. financial ecosystem that will be embedded within every U.S. consumer lender." Like that's something the CEO said. So that's his goal. That's his vision. And this is a founder CEO as well, right? So he's driven to accomplish this, and he's dead set on this becoming reality. So to me, I think this is a very high tier moat company in the making.
That is something.
Yo.
Well,
Definitely a high tier moat company for sure.
Quite the audience reaction there.
Dude,
they also
just went hard at each other.
Cats just we're killing each other. But yeah, I mean, even on the call too, like they super safe. But they said even on their earnings call, like essentially there has to be some insane depression for them to not hit their guide. So like they're guiding very conservatively and sort of without saying it, but saying it like they're sandbagging like crazy, but purposefully, which I like. They're basically, and they're still guiding for 20% growth and doing 100 million in net income. So I was okay with it. Obviously, it sucks to see your stock down 25% today. I bought the dip.
Sorry about that.
I bought some leaves. I ran like really conservative DCF model on it, like 10% growth, like a 7 terminal fair value after 5 years, just insane. And it still was giving like 40-50% undervalued right now. And then like even like all that stuff that they like kind of we're playing more safe, but then Lending Club I see adopted Pagaya's marketing affiliate offering, so they expanded their like products with them, and then they landed 3 new partners.
Yeah.
So Pagaya's also, they said in the earnings call they're going to get 7-8 new partners in the next 2 quarters.
Yeah.
And last year they got 7 partners in the entire year. Yeah. So they're doubling their partners year. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah. Something to mention though, Ronnie, you got to be careful with the DCFs because you got to remember they generate some income that fluctuates from the loans on their balance sheet.
Yeah.
So the free cash flow, how you see it, like Ari and I did a little deep dive on this like a couple weekends back.
I think it was a little bit more than a deep dive, but yeah.
Really, and we kind of dove into it and we figured out, okay, what's the true free cash flow number? It's so shoddy. It's hard to really figure out. It's common with these fintech type of companies though. So
yeah, I think another clear example of something like this, that when I first came across it, that one is a much cleaner story. There's just one like merchant payable line you got to strip out. Adyen, the European payment company, their free cash flow, if you look at it, the free cash flow margins are like 120%. How is it even possible to have more free cash flow than you bring in revenues into the business? It makes absolutely zero sense, right? So it's because they briefly hold onto customer funds for like a week, basically, and so that like overstates free cash flow in the reporting period. If you guys don't mind, I have a couple questions to kind of go through here. This fine gentleman by the name Liam. Arya, why did you full port Adobe when there are much stronger names that will benefit more from AI than Adobe? At no point, Liam, did I full port Adobe. I think at the peak, it made up about 20% of my portfolio. It's down a little bit, so it's like 17% now. I haven't sold a single share of Adobe or anything like that either. I know professionals won't really switch, but multiple could compress more. Yeah, it could definitely compress more than 12 times EBIT. And you know what? That's fine. I'd probably be a buyer at those levels. And actually, their own buyback program would continue to be accretive at those levels. Yeah. Nick, I think you expressed a little bit of interest in terms of Uber, I believe, last week. I don't know. Have you looked into it a little bit more?
A little bit. It's another one of those ones that I deem a very high quality company.
Right.
And it's like a slight, now it's a little easier to just kind of hop on board. But a couple months ago, it was really, or I want to say about half a year ago, it was really a contrarian play because you had that whole Tesla narrative, Waymo narrative that was just chomping away at it. But I think it's like, what Bill Ackman said, it's quite simple to just call it a free cash flow machine. They generate a ton of cash flow nonstop. And I think that the younger generation like utilizes Uber like it is some sort of utility. Like they can't function without Uber in some capacity. It's almost like Snapchat. A lot of people don't understand the thesis behind Snapchat. And like, yeah, you can make an argument like it's a shitty company. Like the management team just kind of sucks. You know what? Perhaps you're right. And that's not my argument, but the argument behind Snapchat or a company like Snapchat is that the youth, the younger generation is just so addicted to this thing that it's become almost a utility of their life, just a portion of their life. And I believe Uber is along similar lines. And sometimes like,
to a further extent.
Yeah, a simple thesis like that, you can extrapolate and then look into the fundamentals of a company, and you could kind of go from there and just kind of go down that rabbit hole. It's like, okay, does this investment work long term? And I think Uber could work long term. Like I think that Uber investors, I know you are one yourself, Arya. I think they will be rewarded. Like if you look 3-5 years out, 10 years out, you guys will be in a very good position, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Pedro asks. Just very quickly. It's not like a public deep dive or anything. We were just kind of crunching the numbers, the two of us. Some of the stuff is like in my Discord server. If you want to join that, but the link for that should be in my description. I think you're watching that off Ronnie's stream or something.
I'm working on a Substack right now, actually.
Yeah. Oh, actually, come to think of it, Manu Invest, which I will put in the what's it called? The chat. I believe he did write a deep dive on it. So
he did actually. I read that.
Yeah.
On Pagaya?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick. Or not Nick. Nate. You had a question?
Nate. Yeah, I was just curious. What is Uber's growth rate?
Top line grows well, so it's a bit weird. So about 5% of revenues is this like freight segment. I don't even know if
I've heard of it.
Yeah, you guys heard of it? Okay, so it's a piece of garbage. It has 0% adjusted EBITDA margin, so it's actually losing money on a GAAP EBIT basis. Yeah, so it's a piece of junk. But that essentially kind of slows down the revenue growth rate. Basically, if we strip that business out, it's growing at like 22-23%. Top line growth is about 20% at the moment, though, and it's accelerating. So it's
and you look at the valuation; it's the highest free cash flow yield it's ever been.
So we can't use free cash flows anymore. They have these like insurance reserves in there, which up for debate. Like at the end of the day, it is cash for the business. You know what? I could actually end up showing this.
How much does that dilute free cash flow?
A considerable amount, like 20%.
Okay.
So here we can take a look. By the way, to the gentleman asking about Adobe and stuff like that, as you can see, it is 16% position.
That's not the real one. Show the real one.
Show the real portfolio. Yes. Not my real
portfolio. Show everybody the one you showed me earlier, dude.
No. Don't be doing this to me. Oh, my God. Oh, God. All right, anyways, so yeah, in terms of you guys could see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So top line revenue growth of about 20% for 2 quarters in a row. And a key thing that we got in the most recent quarter was if I can find it, monthly active users. So monthly active users has been accelerating for a number of quarters now, right? So it used to be growing 13-14%. This is like an organic sort of like baseline in terms of the growth rate of the business. Obviously, if you're bringing 18% more users, they're transacting 1 to 2 times per month. That means that roughly translates to 18% more revenue growth, right? So this used to be 13-14%, and it's slightly reaccelerated in the past couple quarters.
What is that? Is just you just organically? Is there new products? I don't like. I use. Yeah. I have an Amex, so I use Uber at least once a month because I get the $10 credit. Whether it's DoorDash or not DoorDash, but Uber Eating or just Uber in general. Obviously, I love Uber, but I just don't pay attention to it enough to know if there's like new product lines or verticals or what they're doing. Grow like that.
So like, how are they growing so many monthly active users still?
You said the baseline looked like 13% for like 8 quarters in a row, and then now it's suddenly not spiking but growing consistently quarter over quarter for the past 3.
Yeah.
So is it something change?
So basically, it's a bit funny. So actually, the United States and Canada is not their best markets. And the way they measure that, it's a bit of a weird metric. I'm trying to look for it as I talk. But basically, it's like the percentage of adults in that market that I think it's use Uber either once a month or once a year, right? And for reference, like I think the Canadian market, it's like 1 in 5 adults uses it per month. I think it's per month. And then the US, like it's like 1 in like 8 or something like that. I think their best market is actually Australia, funny enough. So like there's a huge still like white space even in developed markets, for example, Canada, US, whatever, right? Like if your average Canadian adult, 1 in 5 people is using Uber. That's still 4 other people, quote unquote, that could be transacting with Uber. So there's huge white space. Here we go. I found it. This is right here. So this is a little bit dated as well. This one is from the 2024 investor update, I want to say. But as you can see, like for example, with Australia, right? Monthly.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, monthly consumer penetration. So this is almost 20%. So in Australia, roughly 1 in 5 Australian adults interact with Uber or like buy an Uber or Uber Eats per month. You have Canada down here. The US is actually below Canada. So their best markets is Australia, Brazil, UK, Canada in that order, right?
Got it. Interesting.
So there's huge amount of white space left. And then on top of that, if you pay attention, like look at Germany, right? This hasn't improved, by the way. I think it's actually declined ever since they released this. But Germany's penetration is 1%. So 1 in 100 adults in Germany uses Uber per month. And that is what, the 4th highest GDP country in the world, right? So there's massive amount of white space left still to continuously bring on these monthly active users onto the platform. And then on top of that, cross-sell them Uber to Uber Eats, get them into grocery eventually, maybe if they become an Uber One member, and just the flywheel goes on from there,
Yeah, I've always liked Uber. It's just really durable. And obviously I love the product. I use it all the time and their service, I guess. But I was just curious. I know of the name and I see people talking about it. I know a few other big investors are into it. But I don't know the details of how they're growing and everything there. So that's cool.
Yeah, it was such a good opportunity to be buying that whenever everybody thought the robotaxis were going to come tomorrow and just deliver all the food and everything. It's an insane opportunity.
I think Arya is just hiding his full portfolio of hymns. Yeah, man, you're not wrong.
He's actually 50 Palantir, 50 hymns.
50 Palantir. No, I'm 120% hymns. I'm on margin, dude.
Margin.
No, so Ronnie, what's funny is like people look at the stock price and they're like, oh, like it was down at $60. What a great opportunity. My initial average before I averaged up was at $66 per share. So I recently did average up. It's like $71 cost basis now. So, but the stock's gotten cheaper. So it's like, we've spent roughly a year-ish, right? Like December of last year was when the sell-off kind of went down. We spent roughly a year since, and revenues are up 20%. Free cash flow, operating income, no matter what you look at, those are up even more significantly. So the stock's gotten cheaper, even though the stock price has risen, because the stock price has not kept up with how fast the fundamentals of the business are kind of rising. Nate, I see you smiling over there.
I'm just a happy-go-lucky guy. I'm always smiling.
All right, pull up that chart. I DM'd you the network covering the U.S. population.
Did you send it to me on Twitter?
Yeah.
That's a great chart.
Very great chart. This is really appealing. I saw this in their earnings deck, and it kind of stuck out to me. So this is one on my watch list. So I'm always keeping track of it. And this is something that stuck out to me. You'll pull it up here in a second, but essentially it captures the exposure Uber has across the entire United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw this chart one time. Yeah,
that's impressive. Like 95% of the U.S. population. That's impressive.
Right.
It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It just speaks to the scale, right? Like, dude, like what Waymo's doing. You guys might know the numbers better than me, but how many rides are they doing?
Oh, not much. I mean, nothing compared to this.
Right? Like it's like 1,000 times bigger. Oh. You know what I mean? And it's like Uber is, in 70 different countries, 10,000 cities. It's a different level at which they operate in. I also like how they talked about the major cities thing. You might have seen that floating around on Twitter over the past quarter of like people are like, oh, but they're in the major metropolitan cities, and if they lose in New York to Waymo and like it's a big hit, they kind of debunk that as well.
Yep.
Yeah. True. Anyways,
so, I'm curious. Can we go into valuation? I don't know if anyone else wants to hop into something else, but I'm curious to talk about Uber.
Yeah, for sure. So actually, give me 2 seconds. I gotta plug in my laptop. Yeah, sorry, we were gonna initially do that, but basically, you can't use free cash flow. So, and I have this on good account from again Manu, which
he's legit.
He's very legit. Okay. He's very in tune with I know what he does professionally, but like it's sort of in this department, so we could definitely take his word for it. I'm starting to favor using operating margins. So
Mhm.
the issue with that though is, and you're starting to see this, like for example, even with service now, right? Which I know a lot of us that are interested in that business. People are like looking at the trailing PE of the business and like, oh, it's 60 times, it's expensive. Yeah, they're still like ramping margins. They're like nowhere near peak profitability. You know what I mean? You're like kind of looking at like artificially depressed, not artificially depressed, but like you're looking at depressed margins and profitability of the business. It's not truly reflective of what it's going to look at.
Yeah, I hate PE for a newly profitable company. I always hate that stuff.
Right.
Like they're profitable for one quarter. It's like, oh, their PE's 1,000. It's like, oh my god, like seriously.
Do you know, Arya? Do you know why they're going from 473 EPS down to 334?
Yes. So that was a one-time tax deferral. So this is another reason why I hate the PE. But we could just look at the net income.
Yeah, I was just seeing that on Seeking Alpha. They have them down for
Yeah,
December 26, 29% year over year.
That's another thing I hate is like people are like, oh my god, it trades at 8 times earnings. There's no way it's this cheap. Yeah, it's not. So like if we look at is it
Same
this
thing with
one?
Duolingo, right?
Sorry?
Same thing with Duolingo.
Same thing with Duolingo. So does this look normal to you guys? Oh, we're not even screen sharing.
Yeah, you were turning screen. You were for a second and then it stopped.
Okay, there we go. So does this look normal to you guys? -6 billion, -4 billion. So there's a provision for income tax. I'm not going to pretend like I understand what it is, but obviously it's a sort of one-time thing, and then it's not reoccurring. So once you lap these two different quarters, the PE normalizes. So by what is that, Q3 of 2026, we're going to be lapping those quarters, and the PE will normalize. The same thing happened to a Meta recently as well.
Correct.
So they also had like I'm not going to bother pulling it up, but they also had a tax thing that went down. Duolingo, Netflix had that Brazilian tax thing that happened. So this is pretty frequent. I think if you look at Microsoft's financials from like I want to say 2016 or 2017, for like 4 quarters, they also had a pretty similar thing. So this sort of stuff happens. Unfortunately, throws the numbers off for us. But anyways, Nate, I wasn't even referring to like the whole looking at a company that just turned profitable like 1 quarter, even a company that's like a couple years profitable. It's like 11% operating margins is not where what's it called? Uber is going to max out on.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like you look at Amazon of like 2 years ago, they had 6% net margins, and people are like, "Oh, this is a 60 PE, 80 PE, whatever the case is." And like, it's not truly reflective, right? Like if they double margins in the next year, just naturally with how the business is progressing, it's going to look a lot cheaper. You know what I mean?
So true.
You know, I mean, even with the EPS where they're at now, like $3.34, let's just say that, and then they do 20% EPS growth rate for the next 5 years, which is very doable. Even analysts have more than that. And then a 20 terminal PE. I know you guys don't like that, but like even that, it says it's $103 fair value today, and we're currently at like 74.
Right.
So,
I would just be careful using that EPS number, right?
yeah.
So that's the only thing. The one way, sorry, Nate. The one way you could value it is PE, like price to EBT, which is just earnings before taxes. So we just strip out taxes. Like that, it trades at 30 times basically earnings at the moment. And obviously earnings per share is growing at like 25% plus. So quite cheap on that front.
Yeah. Arya, can you pull up 2 charts? Can you pull up the trips and Uber One memberships?
So Uber One memberships, they don't report it as a standalone KPI, but they like, you know how like Waymo is in a KPI, it's like they kind of talk about it on the conference call, like same sort of deal. They just say like, oh, we exceeded 36 million this quarter. So it's not like a straight up KPI. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I have them, but they're growing Uber One memberships at a 53% CAGR.
I think it's a little bit faster than that, actually.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So sorry, you wanted total trips. So yeah, this is total trips right here. And you could essentially take this as a proxy to revenue growth, right? So you might notice the monthly active users number, and we can bring up total trips percentage change, right? Total trips percentage change, and then map C.
And then overlap that with MAUs too. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm bringing up, right? So you might notice like the growth between monthly active users and total trips is like slightly off. The difference of that is essentially frequency. So, you know, some people are transacting with Uber in a higher frequency, and like you have the growth of that as a KPI as well on here, where essentially like, you know, the average Uber monthly active user is like transacting in higher and higher frequency over time as well. This right here. So a little bit convoluted, but yeah, basically the average Uber user gets 6 Ubers per month. Now that's the average, it's not the median. So the median is 2, the average is 6. So because it's like skewed upwards, right?
Yeah, because the people that don't, yeah, makes sense.
So like sicko like me, who like gets like 10 Ubers a month or whatever, like I'm skewing the average upwards because I'm at 10. You know what I mean?
Actually get 10 Ubers a month.
I think my family account, yeah, definitely between Uber Eats,
Oh, okay.
for sure.
Okay, yeah.
I thought you were just straight up like getting Uber drives.
Yeah.
But,
so the total trips also includes it's just any time Uber's interacting
Yeah.
to Uber Eats.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I can see that why that's going up because people are getting fatter and fatter.
I'm probably at 10 too.
Could you?
On Uber
I was
Eats.
curious. Could you? Is there a discrepancy between Uber trips versus Uber Eats? I'm curious.
No, they don't break that out, unfortunately.
I bet Uber Eats is carrying this boat.
Yeah,
if I had to guess. I
Probably,
bet Uber Eats is
probably.
carrying the because I bet if you pulled up DoorDash trips, which just is Uber Eats, it probably is a similar chart.
yeah.
So this is a pretty fun little exercise we got going on here.
I like this.
Because I bet if you pull up DoorDash, it's the same. It's similar chart.
Yeah, their orders
don't-
go straight up to the right.
Let's just do Lyft in here as well, eh?
As well, yeah, might as well.
Oh, yeah.
Total trips.
Look at this, Nate, with some good ideas.
Beauty.
Well, am I still? You just think me stupid?
No.
Good ideas. Good ideas. I
Davis,
never have good ideas.
You got any comments, Davis? You're quiet over there, dude. What's going on?
Bro, you guys are talking Uber, Pagaya, all these operating numbers. I'm lost.
He wants to talk about Zeta.
Volunteer, that's it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
Volunteer.
Don't worry, we'll get back to
I'm learning. Like I said, I'm here to learn. So I'm.
I guess
What
DoorDash
is
offer
DoorDash?
trips.
Oh, total orders.
Oh, this might be a little different.
Ari is a wizard with fiscal AI.
Yeah, this guy.
I mean, I've been
You should
using it for
you should
years
literally sell like a course on how to use it.
on how to use fiscal. Well, I mean,
I know
so
some people do that.
You do know, like I used to work at the company, right, for like 9 months.
Yeah, you said that. I didn't know what capacity though.
Wait, actually, you did?
Yeah, I was.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
interesting. I didn't know that. I just knew
Yeah.
you were like you love fiscal. I didn't know it was like a.
No. I worked for fiscal for like 9 months. I met all the founders, everything like that.
Oh, sick.
No, it was pretty cool because they're Toronto based too, right? So,
Okay.
match made in heaven on that front. But I started out as like an affiliate initially, turned sponsor, turned employee briefly, and then I went back to school. Sorry, if we could quickly hit on some of these comments here. If people have autonomous vehicles, have their own cars, can drive them and pick them up. Oh boy. It's a demand aggregator, right? So like at the end of the day, like there's a lot more that goes into it than just price at this point. You kind of think of it similar to the case of an Amazon, where like sure initially they did compete on price and stuff like that, but like selection is a factor, the convenience of the service, down to like very simple things, like the UI UX and like the functionality of it. I don't know if you guys use the McDonald's app at any point. I collect points because it gives me free coffees, but dude, that app is a disaster. It is a disaster. It's so unbelievably difficult to use. Like you click into the app, it tells you don't text and drive 4 times in a row. You can't click the notification off. Like you need to wait probably about 5 seconds to click the note. Like it's terrible, right? So there's a lot that goes into it. It's really not as simple as just like price. Like there's going to be an autonomous vehicle, it's going to be cheaper. And mind you, there's a slide that Uber shares on this. We'll pull it up afterwards. But there's a slide where they talk about how Tesla in particular says that they're going to get the cost down to, I believe it's $2 per mile. But just the insurance cost, the hardware cost, and the cleaning of the cars and the fleet management, those 3 costs alone already exceeds more than $2 per mile for the average. So like I have no idea how they're going to make the economics work. That's after they solve the technology. The way it stands currently, they're not going to even be able to compete on price, which is people's main bear thesis. Anyways, the chart here, total number of trips. Yeah, it seems like our boy Uber blows everybody out of the water.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're comparable. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's interesting.
So an interesting one that we could look at is the gross. Oh my god, I just hate how they name them different things.
Yeah,
The gross order value. Okay, you know what? You're special. The gross order value of DoorDash versus the gross booking value of, where is it? Delivery.
delivery gross bookings. Yeah, which is right there. Oh, I got it.
There we go. So this is what's interesting, right? So,
Mhm.
oh wow,
Yeah, DoorDash beats them.
right, but that's just the U.S. market. So DoorDash in just the U.S. beats Uber completely internationally.
Yeah. Because fun fact, I used to DoorDash a bunch, and so I know DoorDash for a while had the largest market share, and so I know that obviously they still do in the U.S.
Yeah.
And I always prefer DoorDash as a dasher versus Uber, for food at least. I don't know about driving. But yeah, I was just curious on like, I feel like it's a clear trend that people are just getting more obese and more lazy, and so Uber Eats is clearly going to like crush for Uber. I'm honestly kind of more bullish on that side. But I don't know their margins. Like from your perspective, Aria, I don't know how much they talk about. Are their margins better on just Uber rides? Because I'm sure the restaurants take a fee and there's some sort of interchange
Yeah.
there.
So both the take rate on Eats is lower, and
That's what I figured. Okay.
yeah, just the apps. They give us segment EBITDA. They give adjusted EBITDA, which not everybody's favorite. But it's a cleaner version of EBITDA than like for example, I don't mean to hate on the company, but like Lemonade. Like I don't know if you guys looked at Lemonade's adjusted EBITDA. It's a disaster. But it's one of the cleaner adjusted EBITDAs. And again, if we compare them, because that's kind of the only thing we have in terms of segments. Uber Eats is a lower adjusted EBITDA margin and a lower take rate business for them.
Yeah, that's what I figured, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, you have a whole restaurant in there, right? Versus like just driver
exactly.
and thing. Like, yeah, it makes sense. I'm surprised they make the economics work, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people get a lot. I feel like there's also, at least from my experience, a lot more refunds and people upset with Uber Eats because food is way different than like a drive. I don't know how much to talk about that, but yeah. No, exactly. Yeah.
It's drop in the bucket, all things considered, to be honest with you. I am bullish on their grocery business. Have any of you guys ever ordered groceries from like an Uber Eats?
I have a buddy that does it. I think he does, but I think it's either Amazon grocery or like,
Amazon grocery.
Yeah,
Dude, you guys in the U.S. market, it's a whole different.
No, I think they partner, like Walmart. I think they just partner with.
Oh, okay.
Like DoorDash, I think it is, because my wife orders through Walmart online, or I don't know who delivers it. It's
DoorDash because I used to do it.
DoorDash, okay.
Yeah.
So like they're partner with. So there's a big market for that.
Yeah.
Like Costco wants to get into like the heavier, like delivering like bulkier items and stuff. So I don't know who's gonna like maybe Uber, because like they're trying to do the whole freight thing. Or you said that's like a crap business.
That's more B2B, and it's a garbage crap business. They acquired it. They should divest it. If I ever get an interview with Dara, that probably my number one question is like, what do you guys haven't talked about this in 12 earnings calls? What are we doing here?
The freight?
The freight business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I remember when they first were getting into it, I remember seeing stuff about it. I was like, oh, interesting. Sounds kind of cool. And then I haven't heard anything about it.
It was a significant part of the revenues at some point. I think it was like north of 20% of the revenues, but I mean, it's declined. And then on top of that, you have the other two segments that are, growing 20, 30% year over year. Like, after a while, it's going to get diluted as a percentage of total revenues.
I have a question that's kind of like talks about like Uber and Amazon, and something I've been thinking about. So do you think, I don't think you do, but maybe, do you think that drones, right? So drone, probably not what you thought, drone delivery with like Amazon and like say Uber, right? For like Uber Eats. Do you think the drone delivery and hiring the people to actually fly the drones and the maintenance and everything, do you think, and it is a very hypothetical question, do you think that decreases cost compared to like the employees and the drivers and everything? Because like the batteries and how many trips, and it's a very odd question, I know. But it kind of ties in a little bit, I guess.
Not drones in particular, but I'm unbelievably bullish on robotics in general. And the reason I say that, like, there's all these different buckets of like, AGI and robotics and this and that and whatever. And like, these are sort of like things that are like supposed to happen in the future and whatnot. And it's a bit speculative, I guess you would say. But I'm a person who doesn't generally buy into that sort of hype. I want to see like real material results before I buy into something like that. The truth of the matter is, Amazon today is using a whole bunch of different robotics already inside of their warehouses. There's a stat out there that says I think it's 75% of Amazon packages come into contact with some sort of robotics. They revealed this one in spring of last year. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but it's a robot who can touch. It understands feel, it understands pressure, so it knows like, oh, is this a textbook? I need to press down on it a lot more to move this textbook and sort it. Oh, it's a bag of Skittles. Okay, I don't need to press on it as hard, right? So this that they unveiled last year, combined with like a whole bunch of different robotics. I'm not going to say like drones in particular is going to be what's going to solve the operating expense issue over at Uber, and it's going to increase margins. But I'm sure they're going to incorporate over the next 5 to 10 years some sort of robotics, whether it's these little like Roomba looking things on the sidewalk, or it's going to be, as you mentioned, a drone that's going to be able to carry your
Serve Robotics
food.
has, and I think
it's
AV
gonna be
Rye
something.
with Nebius, I think they have something like that.
Yep, I've heard Nebius, yeah.
But it's funny. It's funny about the Amazon thing, though, right? Because I was just talking about that in a video today. And if you look at like their free cash flow right now, it's going down again because they're just spending massively. And if you like run like just a basic valuation metric on Amazon, you're gonna come to the conclusion like this thing is completely overvalued. But like you have to just think out about how the margins are going to be impacted by the replacement of customers, by the replacement of basically all these trucks and the maintenance on the trucks and obviously full autonomy inside their warehouses, but like without like using Symbotica, which is like a company that does the fully autonomous warehouses, and they have like a partnership with I think Walmart. But yeah, like you got to just understand that like e-commerce is such a heel to Amazon's business, but I don't see like more than like 3 to 5 years from now where the margins aren't just exploding once they get all that under control with less employees, higher margins from e-commerce. Because really ads and Amazon Web Services have been carrying this company from being just undervalued, or sorry, not undervalued, but basically a money loser consistently.
Yeah, they're easiest. I mean, robotics is easily like they're the biggest beneficiary by a large margin.
Yeah,
and they'll be doing, I think, like $1 trillion in revenue in like 7 or 8 years. One tick of margins, 10 billion in income. Like, are we joking? Like, that's going to be insane. And I think they're a clear beneficiary. Like, they're going to just be all robotics running their factories, and they're going to be printing cash in the 2030s, like easily.
That's why you have to like extrapolate out like what you believe the margins will be then, which I think their margins are going to expand rapidly. Like kind of like Meta, right? Meta was spending so much money on the metaverse and everything, and then as soon as they cut back a little bit, like their like free cash flow, EPS, net income just exploded. And then people were like, "Oh man, like look at Meta, like they're going crazy." But they freaking sold them down to like $88. It is, yeah.
CEO of Fiscal, I don't know if you guys saw, where he's in the
I
chat.
saw him in the chat.
Yeah. Fiscal Wizard. My official title. I'm gonna redo my Twitter bio now.
So I have a question for you guys about Amazon. So do you guys know, I know the answer, but do you guys know the history behind AWS and how AWS became a thing?
I think that's a fake history though. I kind of know what you're gonna say, but I don't think that's actually like. Sorry?
Tell me, what do you think?
Well, I think the fun story, which like most people I think say, is they had all this extra compute for the holiday season, and then after a while they're like, well, you know what, we have all this extra compute, like we don't use it other than literally like the 2 months or like the 2 weeks during the holiday season when we have all this extra traffic. Hey, we should try to rent it out and like generate some sort of revenues from it. But apparently that got debunked. That's not the actual history.
I thought they were. I think I initially thought it was to solve their internal issues with the just e-commerce in general, and then they just expanded it out.
Yeah, it was Nate's right.
Our business is, we need to solve it internally, and then realize, oh crap, this is the most valuable thing we've ever done. Let's service this out to everyone else, and then that's what exploded.
Correct. Yeah. So it started off as a internal project to optimize software development for the software development teams. And then they turned out that this was a great business offering that they could offer their clients, and they kind of scaled it from there. So it's not this magical story about Christmas and everything that kind of, you could sell to people. But what I find that is interesting about Amazon is that they have these like one-off bets where they have so much revenue and they have such a great business that they're able to invest some money into like different things like Project Kuiper or Leo, whatever it is now. And for example, like their robotics project. And I think that the thesis behind the robotics and Amazon robotics is going to follow a similar timeline, similar theme, a similar story to what happened with AWS. And I believe that internally at Amazon is they're going to develop an operating system in order to orchestrate and allow for sequencing of these different robotic operations, whether humanoid or just basic machine sequencing bots, like they have that you brought up on screen, where they can like compress and touch things or package goods, assemble things. But at the end of the day, they need to come up with some sort of operating system to communicate with these entire robotic fleets. And I think eventually Amazon could be in a position where they monetize that and they start selling it to other companies. And companies may go to Amazon and say, hey, we would love to buy a fleet of robots. And it won't be the conversation won't be, okay, how many robots are you selling them? But it's more or less going to be that subscription service for the orchestration of those robots and whatever sort of software or cloud infrastructure they sell on top of that. And I think that's where the value is going to be one day, but we're probably talking, 10, 15 years out from now. And that's just sort of my, ground roots thesis, kind of what I'm thinking.
And let me guess, UiPath somehow fits in there all of a sudden.
Well, UiPath, but actually, no, it doesn't. It doesn't fit in there because it's a complete thesis. But like, I think Amazon is like uniquely positioned to do something here. What I think is going to market best thing is like, does Amazon partner with a company like Palantir in order to make this possible? Because I do think like that's the shortcut route for the orchestration of like this massive robotic fleet. But knowing Amazon, they'll want to develop something internally, package that as an Amazon product and sell that as a whole thing. And especially like running on AWS, but I'm not too sure. But I think that's something to think about, 10 years down the line. That's likely something you're going to see.
Right.
I think I saw some stats.
I was thinking about Palantir that whole time.
Yeah.
Nate?
I know. I was gonna say. I think I saw something today, and I don't know if we want to talk about the capex stuff. I think was it Microsoft's the only company that they're still free cash flow positive outside of capex.
Well,
like after the recent forecasts for the full year.
For the full year. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think Microsoft's the only one that is going to be free cash flow positive for the year, based on guided or whatever.
Interesting.
I want to find the graphic because it was super interesting to look at.
Or we could just pull it up on Fiscal AI, the world's greatest stock research platform.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Do that instead.
Which you get a 2-week free trial, no card required, using the link in the description down below. Anyways, share this tab here. You guys should see this.
Is Amazon the easiest Mag 7 buy?
No, Meta is.
No,
Meta.
I 100% agree. I'm so bullish on Meta from like
same.
a little bit away.
I bought more.
I'm like closet bullish. Oh, it's not really closet bullish if
on Meta.
Saying it, yeah. Dude, they're growing 30%. And Nick, the thing is, like you and I, we were talking about this, but like they have so much unbelievable, so much optionality.
Yeah.
With like commerce, WhatsApp alone, dude. WhatsApp, like, we don't really appreciate this. I believe we're all North American users, right? So we don't really appreciate just how massive it is internationally. And then they're starting to incorporate this whole commerce aspect to it. I have a friend who lives in Peru, and he was telling me, he's like, "Oh, you want to like set up a dental appointment?" It's like you message them on WhatsApp. They have a WhatsApp business account. Per message, they're paying WhatsApp. This is a $15 billion revenue business for WhatsApp today. Or maybe I have that number wrong.
Well, even when I was in Europe, it's like the local businesses, they message you through WhatsApp for your appointments and stuff like that. No, I agree. Meta's I was saying you're a closet bull on Meta. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I think Meta and Amazon are the top two.
Yeah, I agree.
7 billion. I was off by a factor of 2. But anyways, this is a real business for them of like per message, they charge the merchant, they charge the WhatsApp business account holder. And then on top of that, dude, like you can imagine, I don't think they'll roll ads, but like they could do like some sort of sponsored listings or something of that sort where you know what? You are, let's just say, like, again, the dental office or whatever the case is. They've already interacted with you a bunch. Let's say they're running a promotion. They will pay Meta to like push out, specific ads to like existing customers. It becomes CRM-esque at some point. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so much optionality with that business.
And then you also have like, a 40-year-old founder that has a good 30 years left of crushing the business. Like, he's not leaving ever in his life.
That's so true.
And so you just have this young founder that's with this company that has so much optionality, like you said, with billions of users. Like, I'm 100%. And the guiding for 30% growth. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Guiding for 30% growth while they have 80% of 70-80% of the connected humans in the world on their platform. Because again, you got to strip out China as well, right? So excluding China, with access to the internet, 80% of the earth is using a Meta product every single day, every single month.
Did you hear his one quote on wearables?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Where it's going
to
be
have it here.
Negative 18, and then
I expect 2026 to be a year where this AI wave accelerates even further on several fronts, and it's hard to imagine a world in several years where most glasses that people wear aren't AI glasses.
Yeah.
And that actually,
I actually believe that thesis, man. I believe
100%. I thought when they revealed the Ray-Ban like Meta partnership, I was thinking that was like kind of like their Apple moment, like for the iPhone. Like, honestly, it wasn't probably perceived like that, but I think it could be something like people look back on in a couple of years, and it's like, you probably hear my kids screaming in the back.
Yeah,
but,
a little bit.
But yeah, no, I think they have so many levers to pull in their business. It's absolutely crazy. And like having the like massive amount of people they have in the world just all using their products consistently is pretty insane. Pretty insane.
I have a question. If you guys were in my position today, would you even entertain selling off some Amazon to open a Meta position?
No.
What's your cost basis?
On Amazon, 170, but I've averaged up massively on that. My lowest Amazon shares were like 106.
If you were going to do it, this is my opinion, if you're going to do it, sell enough to where you can buy enough leaps to where you can buy the shares at that cheaper price later. Because the whole
complicated for my liking.
Well, the whole thing with leaps is you can get access to more shares later. Like if you bought 2028 leaps, you can get access to the shares at a later time and then put up the money. You know what I mean? It's kind of like taking out a loan right now, paying a little bit of the loan and then paying the bulk of the loan later, but without any interest. But
maybe I don't know. I'd have to.
In short, I don't think it's a bad idea. You want your only pillar? Is that your only Max 7?
Yeah. Yeah, I used to have Google, but we sold that.
My opinion, you're not going to like my opinion.
What's your opinion?
Dude,
Adobe
viewers probably won't like this one either, but personally, what I would do, I would it's not. I probably have to. I'm going to look into if I were you, I'd look into it a little bit more, but Adobe for.
Yeah, I was going to say Adobe for Meta.
Adobe for Meta. I think that.
Can't believe the Adobe hate, bro.
Look at your portfolio right now, just how it's balanced. Honestly, like I think the growth rate of Meta, the upside it has, and at its current valuation, I think that who knows what situation Adobe could get into. Like I don't know, man.
I understand the business so well, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Like the thesis is so crystal clear for me. It's literally like the AI thing is a non-factor. The competition thing is a non-factor. In my personal opinion, based off of my hundreds of hours of research at this point, the only question mark I have for Adobe, which we will see, is the seat dilution question. And will they transition to a usage-based, consumption-based model? I know they've already pivoted.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I said they're going to have to pivot.
They're 100% going to have to. And I wonder how that transition goes. Like, if you look at the transition of on-prem to cloud, there was a lot of casualties. There's a lot of software casualties moving from on-prem to cloud. The same thing could be said when they made the shift, mid 2010s of going to license model of, you buy, for example, a disk or like, you buy like a desktop version of Microsoft, whatever the case is, going from that version over to the SaaS model, you pay monthly. There was a lot of casualties in software during that round as well. but like Adobe was a company that, you know, survived both of those. QuickBooks, another example of a company, Microsoft Excel and the productivity suite. These are companies that have consistently transitioned to the next paradigm. I can't see why it wouldn't. And they already kind of have, right? Like they've already kind of, you know, introduced all these different AI integrated features into Photoshop and stuff like that. So you're already starting to see it.
I think you might kick yourself if you don't get Meta, honestly.
That's what I'm starting to think as well.
Because you got to think about it too. Meta, after this last earnings call, if you guys, anybody here listen to that earnings call, first of all?
I listened to like
okay, yeah. So then
45 minutes.
Talking about when Zuckerberg clearly indicated that they're actually benefiting, like their revenue, they're generating revenue from AI, like tangibly. And their ads development is just absolutely skyrocketing.
To be fair, on the flip side of that, there's no actual KPIs that suggest they're generating AI revenue. He just says it, and he kind of has to justify CapEx spend.
Yeah, that's
so I think on the flip side of that, like he needs to say AI is crushing because he needs to justify why they're spending 130 billion in CapEx.
Yeah,
because the market hates it. But it's, you know, he's a trustworthy guy. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's negative. Not necessarily saying he's lying, but he kind of has to say that realistically.
But how else would you explain the fact that, you know, the revenues are accelerating in growth? Like,
yeah, no, 100%.
It's surely, you know, it's surely a result of like actual AI driving tangible. And honestly, I don't know. I hate anecdotes because part of the reason I never invested in Meta to begin with was I wasn't a big Instagram user until like, you know, last year.
What's the Instagram loser?
Yeah. But you know, like just anecdotally, like I've noticed like my algorithm is so like tailored and targeted to like exactly me, so specific to like exactly the type of content I would be interested in, and like my background. I don't know about your guys' cases, but it is so tailored to Arya, Persian, from where I'm from, you know, my different hobbies and a mix of like business and gym together and stuff like that. It's just insane.
Their ads targeting is next level. Like
Yeah.
because of what you were just saying. Like that's why, you know, people are like, oh, well, they only make revenue from ads, and it's like, okay, like
yes, they make revenues
because
from
they literally
ads.
have over half the world's population, you like access to them. Like,
yeah.
You know, I was talking to Arya about this, and my thesis behind Zuckerberg's whole, you know, we're going to develop AI experiences on board our platform and look into different agentic solutions, and especially in e-commerce. Nate, you listened to that call, and same with Arya. You guys would have heard him talk about those. He's super excited. I think his words were, "I'm excited about the agentic e-commerce opportunities." And what I think that means is that I think there's going to be a reality where, just like Google, you could go on, and Arya, you and I talked about this. On Google, you go on and book through Google Flights. You could book a flight, right, through essentially a proxy service of you know, another vendor. But Google is that conduit which allows you to quickly and rapidly book a flight. I think that there could be a reality one day where creators who post things on Instagram, like, "Hey, I went to this Airbnb, check it out. I made a reel."
Oh yeah.
They're able to essentially market that Airbnb, and then you can book that Airbnb on Meta platforms right there. And then that creator would get commission, Meta would get commission, and then Airbnb would book and fill that site. I think that potential is really exciting. And to be honest, I think somebody like Zuckerberg, he knows and he can see that. He's the type of guy who would identify that and say, you know what, that's a reality. Google essentially has something like that already. Why don't we make that come true? And I think Meta is a perfect place to do that.
The aggregator of aggregators.
Yes.
Imagine they're aggregating for Airbnb, which is already, that's funny. No, but that from a business standpoint, that totally makes sense. It works for all parties. Obviously, the content creator is now, because Meta's, you know, monetization has notoriously been terrible. Like YouTube makes some ad revenue. Twitter, obviously, I think does pretty decently as well. But it's one of the worst monetized for the creator side, of course. The worst monetizable social medias there is. So I think this is a huge opportunity, and it's tied directly to performance, essentially, of like, oh, if you are a creator, if you're a content creator, and for example, you stay at the Airbnb, or you know what, you try on these pants from Lululemon, whatever the case is, and they click that link, boom, it goes over there, it makes the sale. It works out for all parties. No, I think that totally makes sense. The only issue I would have is I don't think they would make some sort of software or anything like that to have like an interface. Like you know how, like, for example, Shopify has the Shop app. I can't imagine them making something like that. I think it would straight up be like, you know, like cookies and affiliate links, and like you just go over to the Lululemon website. Because it would be too hard to build otherwise.
It could be because you got to remember too, in this AI revolution, UI is just going to be something that spins up on the spot, right? So Meta could literally just spin up some sort of UI that's really just an API connector for Airbnb, and then it pops into another loading screen when you want to pay, and it's Airbnb's payment solutions or whatever it may be, like that. It could be something like Stripe, who knows, Visa, MasterCard. But I think everybody's going to absolutely love this when this happens. Now, I'm saying it like it's going to happen. We don't know, but who knows? The dog is freaking out, so I'm gonna have to go here in a moment, guys. But
okay, no problem. Yeah, I mean we're running. Oh, there he goes. All right.
Also, I sent you that picture, Arya, of the cash from ops less dividend buybacks and then the capex for each of the.
Did you? Oh, you put it in our little
in X group chat. Yeah.
Okay.
They also included Oracle there, which is Oracle's a disaster show, so I don't even know why they put that.
Oh, dude, Oracle is that's been an interesting one. We did title this Zeta, but I don't even think
we mentioned it for like 1 second.
So okay, maybe we'll recircle. We're gonna recircle back. Wow, I can't speak. Recircle back on that. But no, this is the cash from operations less dividend and buybacks, and this is for
Microsoft's the only one that's.
Oh, so the light blue is the capex. Okay, yeah, and then Microsoft there is $5 billion of free cash flow.
Yeah,
dude, I remember
really anything.
I remember investing in Amazon in 2022 with the thesis of like, oh, this is all temporary capex. They had an excessive build out, pull forward for e-commerce. It's going to normalize, and you know what? It started to normalize. Certain YouTubers got on.
Nvidia's earnings happened in 2023.
Yeah, it's been insane.
Yeah.
Are you guys generally positive about the capex build out though? Like,
generally positive. I'm getting more and more worried when I see like. Obviously, Amazon needs to, but tapping into debt markets, that's where I start to be like, what are we doing here? But when I hear things like Meta say, they're seeing revenue, they're seeing effects of it, I'm like, the ROI will be there. And we still have like, on both sides, like obviously people try and compare it to 2000. Well, 2000 was, we built so much fiber optic without any demand. That's what killed it. And so we're not at the point yet where demand and supply, they're both extreme, like supply is still 0, demand is still 1,000. And so we're not at a point yet where we're not at 99. We might be 96, might be 97, but I just don't think we're there yet.
Actually, that brings up another question I wanted to ask is I was kind of doing like a bit of a thought experiment, but the advent of these neo clouds, I know you guys are Nebius, one of them, right? You guys are invested in it.
Yeah.
Do you think this is bad for the mode of like a Google or Amazon being one of the cloud players, like where previously, it was like, oh, these are impossible to compete with companies just because of the sheer requirement of essentially infinite capex to just even catch up with what modern day Amazon looks like. Do you think that like worsens the mode, or is this kind of like a temporary-ish sort of thing?
Worsens the mode for the Max 7?
Amazon, Google, Max 7, the hyperscalers.
I don't think so. Like we've heard in Nvidia's call saying like they just need neoclouds just need to be there for more, like you said, more basically power and land. And so I don't think it worsens the moat. It's interesting though, because clearly like Amazon, Google, they're all using most of their internal cloud services, if they have any left for AI, towards their own training of LLMs. And so at some point we'll see some, slow down return from that. I don't think it worsens the moat, but it is interesting to see. Like, I still think we need some time. Like, not NeoCloud, Nebius is only like 6 quarters new. IREN is just pivoting, and so like I really don't think other than Nebius and maybe CoreWeave are really going to do well. I think like I just can't see a previous Bitcoin farmer and salesman CEO turning over and doing AI cloud clusters, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm biased. I probably am, but yeah, I just think it's interesting though. Like I think we need to see some more stuff to happen before we see some turnover.
For sure. Before we pivot to Zeta very quickly, I wanted to share this thing from Uber earlier, but you guys remember when I was talking about how the average Uber ride today in the US costs about $2 per mile, just alone in the hardware, the operating costs. So again, that would be like, insurance, the maintenance of the vehicles, the cleaning of them, having a, somebody to deal with the charging of it, all the fleet management side of the things. And then, like the insurance for the fleet management, all that sort of stuff, the staffing, that in of itself is over $2 per mile. And then obviously, you have to, as an independent, quote unquote, operator of AVs, you would also have to be doing marketing. You need incentives to give discounts to get users onto your platform to begin with. There's customer service that you got to incorporate, just a whole bunch of other stuff on the back end that people generally don't consider. Not to mention the cost of developing the software in of itself, which is a whole other thing, and continuously bettering that. So literally just in these three costs at the top here alone, it's already more expensive than what a human driven Uber in the US costs today. So you just can't compete.
You know how crazy it is? I was thinking, you know how crazy it is that like all the stuff that Uber's been through, like all the publicity, like serial killers, like people, the worst type of people, like driving Ubers and doing horrible things and everything. But like, the business just keeps marching on, and I'm tying this into kind of like autonomous vehicles, right?
Yeah.
And like how people think autonomous vehicles, like once they hit one person or something like that, it's just going to be over. And like, it's just like, man, like these companies have lots of wiggle room. Like when you get so big, it's like, I'm not saying they can do whatever they want. I'm just saying like it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy how far like we've seen Uber come.
Yeah. Well,
like I
I
think you
think
see that with a lot of companies.
Yeah, it provides so much value to its users that there can be so many different negative press events, and it just keeps marching onwards. I mean, another similar-ish example is like Meta 5 years ago with Cambridge Analytica, right? People I didn't even know that existed until maybe a month ago. Like, I'm not even joking. Somebody brought it up on a podcast talking about like, oh, this is Coupang's Cambridge Analytica moment. I don't know if you guys keep up with Coupang Southeast.
I've heard of it. I don't pay attention to it too much.
South Korea's Amazon, I'm told. But they also had like a data leak or something like that. And I was like, oh, what is this Cambridge Analytica thing? And like, I hadn't even heard of it because obviously I wasn't around as an investor back then. But yeah, man, for most of these companies, if the service they're truly providing is that, important, say an Amazon, a Meta, Uber, whatever the case is, those are usually buy the dip opportunities. Anyways, do you guys want to pivot Zeta?
I was curious. One more question on this: is this the first time they've provided a slide like this to show the cost of AV rides?
Is it the first time? No, this is from Q4 of last year, actually.
Did they continue to show it, like if it's decreasing? I'm just curious to see if like you can see a rapid. Do they only show it cost $2? They don't like continue to show now it costs $190, now it costs $175.
No, that was just like a one-off slide they shared.
Interesting. Okay.
Because the hardware costs do eventually go down, right? So,
but also at the same time, I mean, we're in a period where NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, like in some interview, I don't remember what it was, something he hopped on. He said so a big bear case for neoclouds is the amortization and write-off of 6-year-old GPUs. And he said literally like last week, the 6-year-old GPUs are actually increasing in price because that is how high the demand is. He just said that like a week ago. So like we're at a point where like that's why I was curious on the AV rides. Like it could be being more expensive, which is again an even bigger bull case for Uber. Like typically in tech you see, price of hardware and go down, but I think right now like we're in such a peak demand period that we're seeing some things go up, which is really fascinating.
Yeah.
So could we compare that to like the memory demand as well? And like companies that are going after like that hold all the data? Maybe.
Ronnie, I think you got a bit of background noise there.
I think your kid's screaming.
Sorry, guys. Like, I don't
know.
It's
fine. It's
fine. Nick says if you're still live at 8:30, I'll rant about Zeta.
He said like an hour.
45 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know about an hour.
I don't know about that. I was hoping to hop off here at like 8 or thereabouts.
All right, Zeta, let's do it before we hop off.
God damn it.
I think it's funny because I mean, we all talk about it so much, so it's like kind of hard, like not hard to talk about, but it's just like becomes redundant, but it's undervalued. What a crazy dip opportunity that thing that we had. I was so mad that it did the Iran and Nebius thing where it like dipped and then it didn't like stay there for whenever we opened to buy more leaps.
Yeah,
but
wait, what did it hit? Did it hit 14?
It got in the 14
something.
It hit 14.
I got like I snagged a bunch in the 14s.
That was insane, dude. That was the same for Nebius. Like I saw it hit the same price it hit before their contract with Microsoft and Meta, and I'm like, these prices are ridiculous. But I didn't realize that it hit 14. Yeah. That's insane. I mean, I think we have earnings in 2 weeks.
I don't think they've released an official
No,
date
dude,
yet.
I think it's. Oh,
they haven't
really?
done
They
a-
haven't-
Yeah, still haven't
No.
released official date. That's crazy. I feel like that's super late not to do that. Last year they were what, like February 20s?
23rd or 24th.
Okay, so if we were to
Wow.
try and guesstimate around the same time, probably 2 weeks. Or a
Well,
week and a
it
half.
says estimated date February 19th, but really, they haven't released a date. That's really random.
Yeah, that is odd. I'm not a fan when companies wait like a week before they do it. It's like, you knew this a month ago. What are we doing? But yeah, earnings are probably this month. So I think we're at a point where like market is just waiting to see earnings. This guy's out in the snow. Does he know he's on?
Yeah, I'm on. I'm just walking the dog, man.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if
You guys
knew
are
were
talking
on.
Zeta. There's no way I can't join
You
this.
just hear the
Oh.
footsteps in the snow, though.
I just hear some footsteps in the snow. I'm like, what is that?
Are you guys hearing me in the snow right now?
Yeah, dude, we can hear your
You're
footsteps.
crunching.
No
the
way.
snow,
Let's hear it,
Mark.
man. Let's hear it. Let's hear some Zeta.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we were talking
Zeta
about, oh, here it
He's
goes.
like, "Yo, let me in."
he's fiending.
dude, dude, I love talking about Zeta. So any opportunity I get, I will. So Arya, if you want to pull up on my X today, I posted those.
Oh, there he goes.
Those
Just kidding. Go. Keep going.
dude,
Keep
it's,
going.
it's
Show me
on
out. Show me out.
Google, man. Google's trying to make me auto log in. Sorry about that. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you good. You're good. You're
Okay,
good.
so Arya, if you pull up on my X, I made 3 scenarios today about the likelihood of gap profitability for Q4,
Yes, sir.
because there is this. For those who don't know, there is this little line in the ending of the slide deck for Q3 where management highlighted that they're anticipating between 15 and 20 million in acquisition related expenses that aren't normal, right? Like these aren't just normal expenses. These are specifically for the Marigold acquisition. So when I made my original projections, I projected something around like, I think it was like 20 to 22 million in GAAP profitability or GAAP net income. Now I factored in like 3 different scenarios what the likelihood of us we would hit GAAP profitability. Sorry, the dog's pulling me. In each, I kind of utilize a different base. So one situation, I assume that 15 million expense. One, I assume, which is sort of the base case, 17.5 million. And then the bear case, I assume 20 million. And then in each scenario, I give either an inline guide, a 4% beat, a 6% beat, 6%, 8, and then 10%. I don't have it in front of me, so I'm just going off of memory right now. But you guys can kind of extrapolate from there if you have it on screen. I can't really see. I'm just talking to my phone. But essentially here, if we beat guide, EBITDA guide, adjusted EBITDA, by 6%, no matter what scenario, we are GAAP profitable for Q4.
Okay, Nick, I'm going to quiz you right off the top of your head. What was the net income for 6% beat?
Net income for 6% beat?
Or the GAAP net income, yeah. What was it? If you
Which
could guess? Like
which scenario?
6%. If it was
Yeah,
6%
but which
beat.
scenario? Like which scenario? Is it
I think
15?
we're looking at base right now.
a base?
Oh.
I think it was like what 1.9 million, or is that 3.6?
No, hang on. Wait, is this base? You know, it would help if you just said base at the top somewhere.
I
Yeah,
thought he
sorry,
did.
each post does.
Oh,
So,
no,
like,
that wasn't the base. My bad.
Okay, well, this one.
That was the bull one that we were looking at.
This is the base case. Great.
Okay, the base, yeah, for 6% beat. What was it?
yeah, what is that? 3.6 mil?
3.3. You're close. You're such a
Ah,
nerd. I love it. I just want to see if you're close. I want to see if you get close. Keep going, though. Keep going.
Yeah. Anyway, so here's the interesting thing. So I posted just like it didn't get much attention, but like that's not the point. What I wanted to highlight is that David interacted with it. He liked both like the main post and then specifically the base case.
Did he like just the? Do you like just the bear bullish case? You like just the base case? Actually,
No, he liked the bear case and the base case. He didn't like the bull case, which is interesting. Yeah. So
that is,
but
dude, that is crazy. If he's signaling through the likes, that would be.
He's Morse coding over there.
Yeah, that'd be
Well, see, that's the
hilarious.
thing, guys.
Like
Sorry, continue.
no, just kidding. Go ahead. What were you saying?
What I was saying was that if you're the CEO, right? Like, would you interact with a post like that? Like, I'm not too sure.
Dude, I feel like he interacts with every post because he likes some of my stuff today. I think he just goes about.
Dude, one time I put that I was streaming. He like liked one of my messages I was streaming. I was like, "There's no way this guy watches my streams."
I think he spammed the like button
going
on
through.
everything.
It had like 8 likes. I'm like, I don't think he just like clicked up my stream.
Dude, I had I put up that like Jim thing of like average Zeta shareholder. I don't know if you guys remember that
He
one.
liked it too.
He liked that one, yeah.
That's hilarious. I think he just looks at the Zeta ticker and just spams.
He straight up just looks at the Zeta ticker and just likes everything, 100%.
Yeah. But
The
the fact he
crazy
didn't
thing
like
was
the
when
bull
he
case though was crazy.
screenshotted the live stream and then retweeted that.
That was cool.
Because he doesn't like. It's usually only likes, and when I met him and he was like, I don't really comment on anything because Andrew Dudham, you know, like.
Imagine he said that. Yeah.
Dude, that'd be hilarious if he said that.
Hey, look.
No, Zeta Live is gonna be fun though. There's gonna be way more people there. It's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, guys, I'm looking forward to it. And Q4 is coming up. I thought they announced the specific date today, but they didn't. I think that was 2024. It's
They've
Q4.
gotta be
When is
announcing
it
it soon,
typically?
dude.
It's October typically?
What's that? Oh, you talking about
Is it
Zeta Live?
October? Yeah.
October.
Yeah, it's in October, but I was talking about earnings.
Oh.
Yeah, they haven't
the
announced
Q4
the date
earnings.
yet.
That's
It's got to
insane,
be,
yeah, man.
2 weeks? It's got to be 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's no less than 2 weeks. Like no more than 2 weeks. I mean,
Bro, Nick, can't you just text them? Don't you have like that one-on-one communication with them now?
No.
Nick Cloud.
Yeah, they're in a blackout period right now. Like, I
Yeah.
believe within
Yeah.
30 days, they can't have any communication with
Oh,
literally
wow.
anybody. So,
So let's say they do have they get net profitable. What kind of like I can't even like put my finger on like what type of move we'd be seeing, like honestly, because they've
25%.
fallen so much.
I think at
They were
20%.
just $24. I know, but
Yeah, I think-
20%, it's like they were just $24. That doesn't even get. I don't think 20% gets them back to 20 possible.
That is some loud crunching.
yeah. Hey Nick, you want to mute your mic while you're walking in snuff?
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Sorry.
20%.
I think-
gotta see
yeah,
what
I
it
think
gets
it's
to.
I bet it's a 20-25% move. I
Yeah.
can't see it being much crazier than that. Like it is. It's not priced in, obviously, but it is like sort of expected.
Yeah.
But it still is like the algos love a gap profit print, regardless of
Yeah.
the company. And I think it's gonna be an algo move.
I like
And-
look at the DCF and the free cash flow and stuff, and like Wall Street doesn't really give a crap about that. Honestly, they care
Yeah,
about the net income but I think with DCF and how consistent they are and they're consistently growing that, it does like foreshadow what they
Yeah.
can do with net income and net margins and stuff. So
Has there been any news recently in the past couple weeks of data? I don't think there has, right? I mean, we've kind of had like a quiet period news wise.
they had OpenAI news, and then we've literally been selling
Yeah,
off.
that's what I
Since.
thought.
Like just like we're down 28%, almost 29% the last month,
Based off vibes.
based off vibes, because
Mhm.
everybody
Yeah,
was talking about it on X, and now
AI is
nobody's
killing
talking
the
about it.
market, but then the AI is also taking down the AI stocks.
It just shows you though, like every single time, man, every single time everybody started talking about something on X, like it's just like bad juju. Like it happened with Oscar too. Like Oscar was
Well-
like the hottest thing, and then I'm like, but it's
Ronnie.
undervalued. It doesn't matter. But then it just like, I don't know.
Ronnie, let's be honest here. If you have all of FinTwit tweeting about a 2, 3, 4 billion market cap company, it's gonna move the market cap. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it's
sure. You're not
especially
wrong.
if you have a couple accounts who shall not be named, approximately 300,000 followers.
The long invest, yeah.
I didn't say it.
I did. I'll call him out. That guy's a douche. But well, so you want to say something since you're muted?
Yeah, I'm glad that the temperature around Zeta has kind of dropped. They're like the attention's
Yeah.
kind of fallen off. It makes me a little bit less anxious because, like Ronnie said, it's like if you believe in like bad juju or whatever you said, it doesn't matter. But the attention and everybody hyping it is just not good, right? I just prefer to have it a little bit more low key. We track it the way we do and just keep focusing on the fundamentals and execution of the company.
Well, it causes an avalanche, dude,
It
because
does.
like people are just buying it because they're like, oh,
Palantir.
well,
It's Palantir, right?
Yeah, like people. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like people. I mean, yeah, but people are just buying it, man, and like people don't even know what they do, and then as soon as the sell off begins, all those
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
all those people, it's just like so. That's why we like really like waterfalled, kind of. I mean, it was like we waterfalled, but I do think that like we could have seen a bottom with that like 14 something because that was crazy. Like in after hours, that thing just like it just had gone down so much, and then in after hours, it was like really like nope, we got more.
It was a beautiful washout, honestly. I love it.
It really was.
It took a lot of people off leverage, I'm hoping, and I'm sure they got right back
Yeah.
on. But it was 100% had to be margin calls as to what happened because yeah, when I saw that Friday or Thursday price action and then the after hours trade, I was like, oh my, like this was nuts. Iran was down like 40% peak to trough or something like that in one day. Like it was nuts. Iran, not Iran.
20% takes us right back to basically $20 from here. So, but I think once they flip, it's like something like all 2026. They can keep building on that all year, and then they could just keep like climbing higher too.
Sorry, it's a bit hard to hear you over the monster
guys.
footsteps in the snow.
Yeah,
He's
sorry,
got his
Like
snowshoes
Bigfoot
on.
in there, bro.
He's got a
Yeti,
bro.
I was just gonna
Wickets
say.
on.
I was just gonna say I'm going to leave now because my phone's about to die because it's so cold
Oh,
up here in
thanks.
Canada. And
Oh
yeah,
yay.
yeah,
Oh,
man. It's
Oh,
honestly so
yay.
hard to talk outside right now. My face is frozen. It's
What's it like
ridiculous.
up there? Like
It's like
negative
minus
30
20
Celsius?
right now.
Yeah.
What is
not
that?
great.
Fahrenheit.
It's
Let's
like
see.
0 Fahrenheit.
-4 Fahrenheit.
-4. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
cold.
great.
That's cold. That's cold. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a wind chill too, so it's not great. So I got to go, guys. My phone's gonna die. I'm
All right.
freezing. So
See you,
I'll
brother.
see you later. Have a good
Thanks,
one.
Yeti.
I mean,
Appreciate
we're
it.
gonna probably
Yeah.
wrap up in the next 5 minutes. Anyways.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys.
Pretty-
Thanks again for
pretty-
having me.
Purdy Financial said this doesn't fully add up. Everyone posting about Zeta helps spread the word and get new buyers to buy in. Yes, but it's also there's pros and cons to everything. So the con of that was so many people traded the name and so many people got in the name even though they had no idea what they were buying. And then as soon as you had sell off, it was, a waterfall.
Right.
But
I feel like Zeta's gotten through a couple of these now because I remember the first time I heard about it, there was the debate on X between Zeta and Iren, and then it kind of
weird
died
debate.
off, and then the hype came back again, and now it just had its second sell off. So hopefully there's not a third.
I think I'm
Yeah.
most accustomed to him with Oscar, man. I think I've round trip between 11 and 20 some dollars like 5 times in the past year with Oscar, dude. It's crazy.
I mean, that was Hims for a while. Went from like 35 to 65, like 3 or 4
Yeah, but then
times.
eventually breaks out.
Then
I
eventually-
wasn't worried at all with Zeta. I was literally like, dude, I need to keep buying more. Like my conviction, I know you guys the same. Like our conviction's just like insane, dude. Like it's like I want, like it's okay if it goes down. Like whatever.
Mhm.
Like my leaps are pure red. Like whatever. I got till 2028. So
Question.
I'm just
I don't mean to drag the stream on that much longer, but in what scenario, like, do you fast forward maybe 3 years from now and you're like, oh, this didn't perform that well, like it matched S&P's like the expectation here is this is probably going to be a multi-bagger, the valuation is low, etc. Like it doesn't need to be that, but you should be looking at comfortably north of like 25% CAGR for the next handful of years. In what scenario does that just absolutely fall flat on its face?
I think a couple things. Athena doesn't pan out, and it doesn't give them organic growth that we're expecting. And this inorganic growth, to be fair, is inorganic by acquiring who they acquired to get the 34% growth. If they don't continue to see organic growth and they flatline at 20%, they'll be thrown into the bucket of, beaten down SaaS stocks. I think if they can, if for some reason they get to a point where they're sort of like a snowflake where they just continue to dilute and doesn't have profitability.
Yeah.
But I think for me, my big bull case is Athena and like a massive, I don't want to call it, I mean, sort of an S-curve in growth organically from that product. And so I think if we don't see significant growth from that, then I think there's a possibility it still performs decently. Like you said, 20%, like I'll still take that.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, it's great. But if it doesn't for my expectation of outperformance, like I think we need to see large operational margin profitability or large operational leverage, lots of organic growth from Athena, and future products that I'm sure they'll have. Because I think we're just in a sentiment-driven market, and so that organic growth, if it comes from an AI-related thing, it's just going to give them a premium that is ridiculous, and that comes with the crazy CAGR.
Yeah. Purdy, I think it's going to do a lot better than the S&P 500.
Yeah.
Revenues will probably have to grow
confident.
5% for the next handful of years for it to even match the S&P.
If they don't do 20% a year for the next 5 years at least, I would be probably a little bit disappointed as a shareholder, not even gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
I think so highly of David and that team and like where they're going and where they're taking all this. But yeah, I agree with you, Nate. Like, the first thing that popped in my head when you asked that, Aria, was like Athena's kind of like either BS or it doesn't really work out. But I don't believe that at all. But I just think that's like one of the big things. And another thing I thought about during all that was, I don't know what just happened there. What your hands are like here too. So I'm like, what's going on? I think there's one more, only if it happens, there's one more like kind of like waterfall drop that could happen with this name out of nowhere. And it all is centric around that lawsuit. Like if that thing like gets announced, it's going to trial, then I do think you get that like bad, like really bad. But I don't think it does. But I think it'd just be another buying opportunity because it's like, okay.
True. In general, I would advise against anybody that gives you definitive price targets of this stock will go to this price by this time. I like to do like range of possibilities. I have this like CAGR calculator where I'm like, okay, if they grow by this amount, valued at this multiple, call it 3 years out, this is what the price would be, right? Now, of course, it's absolutely no guarantee that they would achieve any of those results or would be trading at those valuations. And I can kind of pull it up. I don't think I have one for Zeta per se. Oh no, I do. Beauty. But I like to do like a sort of CAGR calculator. So again, it's like, for example, this one's for Zeta. This is like a super sort of, I would say bearish sort of case where basically for the next 3 years they grow revenues at 15%. I think that's a very easy hurdle. Free cash flow margins go to 17%. This is as per their own guidance, by the way. By 2028, they're targeting a 17% free cash flow margin. And so again, like, you know, at these price to free cash flows or, you know, the equivalent in price to sales. So I think today, what did they trade at? Like 3 times price to sales. So basically like, you know, yeah, if they trade at like roughly a 3 times price to sales, you still end up with like a market performance with these bearish assumptions and a 3% dilution, right? So the price targets, quote unquote, by end of 2028 would be $28 a share. But obviously, I think it could go materially higher than that, assuming the valuation is higher, assuming, you know, the revenue CAGR is like probably 23%, maybe the dilution's a little bit less. All of a sudden, you're looking at, even with just like 4 times price to sales, you're looking at like a $60 stock, quote unquote, by the end of 2028, if those assumptions play out. So is that really like a price target? No, not necessarily, but it's more like a range of possibilities, you know?
Yeah, I think everybody with price targets and everything, you just need to bear, like, I like to buy off conservative assumptions. So like kind of like beating the company up and going like, not worst case scenario, but like let me poke some holes here and there and like let me see what pops up. And then like if we're, you know, pretty solid margin of safety or something from where the price is today, you know, and I have high conviction in the company, then yeah, Zeta's, we can sit here and I can give out a bunch of price targets, but nothing really matters unless they continue to execute. So
yeah, for sure. Alrighty. If none of you guys have anything to add, I'm happy to end it off here.
Yeah, I think we've been talking for like 100 minutes, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Solid.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me for the technically first stream. Hopefully we could run this back sometime soon. And
Let's do it.
you know, all their ads are on screen now. If you guys want to follow them, I'll be sure to include it in the description as well. Other than that, thank you very much for watching.
Appreciate it. Peace, everyone.
Bye, guys.